Boom, we are pre-recorded today, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful Monday morning on March the 4th of 2019. We want to thank you all for joining us today. We hope you're having a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or maybe you're fast asleep and about to watch this video later. It's been a wonderful week for us here in the jungles of Costa Rica with the Envision Music Festival, and we're grateful for all of you that managed to find myself dancing around in the jungle evenings. It was a pleasure to meet you all, and I'm grateful for your support, your love, and all of your compassion. And with that in mind, let's just dive right into the charts and take a look at where some of the sentiments I feel are bringing us today. So right off the get-go, I want to actually take a look at this Zero Hedge article as the Dow dumped 450 points and hit its recent 3-week lows. Again, what I'm interested in here is the entire market sentiments seem to lead us to an entire sentiment, I guess, value. A lot of people want to call it manipulation, but a lot of the sentiments around value move in lockstep. And what interests me the most is the strength of the dollar and or the weakness of the markets themselves. And I believe these will be inverse depending on which one starts to break. Now, originally I thought the dollar might break first, which would be hugely positive for Bitcoin. And I also suspect that that would likely send the stock market up. Now that we are seeing the stock market decline, it's less likely, I think, that the market will continue to rise. I believe the dollar will continue to strengthen, and that in the short term, at least, is not very good for Bitcoin's price. At the current moment, you can see the NASDAQ futures broke below the 200-day moving average, and the NASDAQ composite is also nearing that 200-day moving average as well. The S&P dropped back below the 2,800 point. Again, that was a very, very important part of resistance and support. So now that we're headed back down below 2,800, we'll have to keep a close eye on this. I believe this will change the markets as a sentiment as well. And the dollar just keeps getting stronger in this well-contained range. Again, I believe the reason that happens is because as the market falls, the sentiment of essentially asset losing value, people are going to go into a fiat system. They believe that fiat dollar holds that value better than the declining market, and it's the reason why I think the dollar will strengthen and why Bitcoin's a little downturn into the $1,000 area is not quite done. Again, the bonds are also falling, as well as the headline bid perspectives on the year over month average here on declining spendings as well. So I do suspect that that will continue, and I think that's interesting for our market. If you dive in on CoinGecko, you can see that we've had a fairly stagnant last few days. We had a big price drop down in Bitcoin. We're currently sitting at 3,728. Ethereum's down at $126, and then you've got the rest of the top 5 tokens also mostly in the red. Litecoin showing a nice little 4% gain. The other day we had Raven, one of our favorites, while we were dancing in the jungle, make a massive leap and bound. For those of you that were asking me whether I was in or out or trading, I was dancing around the jungle barefoot, not thinking a whole lot about anything. But as you can see, Raven had a really nice spike. We went from down in the 2,500 or 250 Satoshi mark all the way up to the 750 Satoshi mark, making almost a 200+% gain in the last few weeks alone. That was absolutely beautiful. Look at this run on Raven. It was a huge green candle yesterday. I wish we had caught that one. Again, we had actually looked at entry points down near the 250 Satoshi mark around February 10th. We said we just had basically a bullish divergence that was taking place. So I hope any of the bear family that happened to take that position, I'm super excited for you. Not investment advice, but good goddamn, a 250% movement almost in just a week or two is a really good feeling. So I hope some of you are enjoying that roller coaster of a ride. I do suspect that it may have peaked out, although Raven has been one of the most interesting tokens to keep an eye on. We will do just that as time moves forward. I think we'll likely see a little bit of cool-off period, but as you can see here down on the daily, at least, the 155-day exponential moving averages are starting to get quite a bit closer, and that Raven run from 280 Satoshis all the way up to 750. Beautiful run. I hope you all enjoyed that. It was lovely to see the Telegram channel exploding with all of you that had taken positions. Again, if you haven't yet, smash that thumbs up button 2019 style. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that little bell. That way anytime we produce videos, you guys will be notified. And please do join the Telegram channel in the links below, because if the bear happens to be barefoot dancing around the jungles half naked, you can be sure that there are other Bear family community members that are willing to help, support, share their thoughts and their input. We will be opening the newsletter again soon. I've been working on getting that put together, so I'm grateful for that. It's a lot more complicated than you thought, considering I'm just mostly, at this particular point in my life, interested in enjoying the wealth and richness which is dancing around in the jungle. So I'm going to take a quick look at Bitcoin. Again, we're hanging on just by a thread here. We've dropped below the 100-day exponential moving average, at least on a red candle wick for the daily. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on this. If we close again below that 200-day exponential moving average, we will likely at least test the $3,500 line, if not coming down a little bit lower. Again, I suspect we might test this ascending wedge. Because we're in a bear market, it is a continuation pattern of a bear market movement. Again, ascending triangles only follow as a continuation pattern, so it's bullish if you're in a bullish space already. Taking a quick look at Litecoin and Ethereum before I dive off and take a look at the rest of the charts today. We had a nice crossover of the exponential moving average between the 55 and 100 day on Litecoin. But as you can see, we have a declining RSI. I do suspect that will lead negatively into Litecoin's price movement over the next few days. And then a quick look at Ethereum, which had jumped all the way up to the $160 mark. Again, beautiful ascending triangle on Ethereum too, almost in perfect lockstep and sync with Bitcoin's price movement, looking down somewhere around $117 for the bounce. Maybe test it. I would assume it's going to do the exact same thing as Bitcoin. We could see maybe a jump up to the $180 mark. I expected we might see that, but as this volume profile keeps filling, it becomes less and less likely. Again, my lower targets for Ethereum are anywhere between $60 and $25 at the lowest low. Again, making this one of the most exciting waves that we had seen over the last year. Ethereum was one hell of a ride from somewhere in the $7 range all the way up to $1,500, and now we're currently back down $128. I just want to keep everyone focused on what I think is important at this particular time. And again, the movements between the S&P 500 are currently around 2,700 points, dropping down very sharply just as the exponential moving averages were about to cross. This is not a good sign for the markets. We could not break into the oversold space. I'm going to assume that this is going to pump the dollar up quite a bit, which will then likely push Bitcoin's price down in my mind. And if you look at the DXY index, you can see that even though it has not had much of a gain in interest over the last few days, we have consistently been moving up since early of April of 2018. I suspect the dollar will get stronger again up until this top point, somewhere around the $100 or the 100-point mark. Again, I think that's when Bitcoin's price movement will likely start to make a difference and a turnaround, probably somewhere in November or December of 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so grateful for all of your guys' support. It's been such a fantastic ride. The only things I can give as advice at this particular moment, at least for myself, is that I'm always trying to acquire more assets. That's the whole point of this game, the reason why I own property, the reason why I think having food and a well and all this stuff on the property is because that asset is valuable for me to keep in my life. It's not just something that I'm going to use today and sell tomorrow. These are assets that I look to keep in my portfolio for a very long time. Bitcoin is one of those assets. I like not only the fact that it is empowering other individuals, but for the first time as an entrepreneur, if I get paid in Bitcoin, I am being paid in money that does not have the blood on its back of countless regimes of basically we'll call them megalomaniac presidents. I consider myself an iconoclast when it comes to the entire scientific space. I am interested in finding truth. I'm not interested in supporting people's comforts. I get in arguments with most of the people I meet because of that. But I want to remind everyone that to focus on your own truth, what you believe in, what you love, your personal assets like your patience, your charisma, your friends, and your family. They are worth far more than money ever will be. And your eternal gratitude and gratefulness for those things, your appreciation of the wealth you already have, is what makes you rich. This is Teal with the Arcane Bear. I am signing off for the rest of the day. I've had a beautiful time. Oh, and I wanted to show you guys this as well. Totally random side topic, but if you're not on Instagram, check out my Instagram feed. I've been taking these fire photos. I get the pleasure of working with some very talented models. I actually lined up another shoot with a model today, so it's been great. If you like looking at abstract photos of beautiful things like from animals, we got all the hawksbill turtles photos that we had done. Take a look at Instagram. I don't think I've ever showed you guys that I have an Instagram, but join me and follow me there as well. This is Teal with the Arcane Bear. Again, I'm signing off for the rest of the day. I hope you have yourselves a fantastic time, and wherever you are in the world, Shabbat Shalom, something like this. We'll see you guys on the other side.